Hey, what's up? It's Matt with My Purpose. Hey, today I got a topic. It's about solitary confinement and how solitary confinement is being used way more than it ever has in the past. And in the beginning, when they used solitary confinement, they used it to break a person down and basically get them to do what they want them to do. It's a way to psychologically break you down. And this was used in the past, but now they use it way more frequently, and they use it way more harshly to way more people. And there's probably tens of thousands of people right now in 23-hour lockdown. And the reason I'm bringing this up today is because I've had my own personal experience with solitary confinement, lockdown in prison, and I want to talk about what it causes, what it can bring out of a person, and what it can do to a person. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's much appreciated. Helps me get my content out there. Just helps me reach more people that need to hear these messages, and I just really appreciate it. So hit that subscribe button. We'll get started. First, I want to talk about, alright, I have experienced solitary confinement myself. The most at one time was 6 months. I was locked down for 6 months, and I had actually just got out of lockdown for another month before that. I was out for 3 weeks, I got locked down for another 6 months. So I was basically locked down for about 7 months. Wasn't the first time I've experienced lockdown. I experienced lockdown several times before that for about a month at a time. And let me tell you, it is not a pleasant thing. When they put you in solitary confinement, you can only shower 3 times a week. You get 1 hour out of your room a day. You get no TV. You get no radio. You get no nothing. You get a piece of paper and a half a pencil. You get 4 pieces of paper, a half a pencil. Now, being on lockdown every single day for months and months on end can drive a person literally mad. It can either break a person or it makes them stronger, but in most cases it will break a person. You know, the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know, you're adjusting to being on this lockdown, but you're also starting to get really depressed depending on the type of person you are. And you're starting to at first you are working out every day, doing workouts, keep yourself busy. You can only do so much workout. You can't get books most of the time in solitary confinement unless you have a way to get that, which usually is not a way that you're supposed to be getting it, so you can also get more time. Now, solitary confinement for myself really did a lot of damage at first, and it took a long time to kind of integrate with it, and it's not something you want to get used to. It's not something that is not something that's easy to get used to. Yes, you have to force yourself, but over the time of being in isolation, you start to lose your mind. Once you go from 6 months to a year to 2 years, there's been people in solitary confinement for over 40 years. Now, these people have lost all touch of reality for the most part. Some have still managed to hold it, but you lose that communication, and you lose how to communicate. You're in a cell by yourself every single day. It is one of the most torturous things you can do to a person. Once a person is in prison or they're locked up, they're paying their consequence. Now I understand people get in trouble. Sometimes you can't control people. You have to put them in this place. But you cannot keep a person in solitary confinement for years and years and years and expect them to change and be a better person. Now, I'm going to get into a couple of the reasons and stuff like that. So we'll get to the next one, but I wanted to really touch on that. I've had my own experiences. I know how it is. And I know people that have spent years, 10 to 15 years in solitary confinement. And I want to talk a little bit about what more it can do to a person in their mind, in their well, you don't have a social life, but outside of prison. So we'll get to that. So also being in solitary confinement, just think of how you lose your perception of the outside world, the reality of the outside world, the people on the outside world, your family, your friends. You kind of lose that. You lose that that connection, or almost like, is it real? You start to question. You literally start to question, and you lose when you can only talk to someone once a month or once a week, or even if you don't talk to someone for a couple months, the damage that it does with with the outside world is extrusive, is a lot. It is sometimes it's almost, if you haven't experienced it yourself, you would not understand. Now think about this. We're all locked down right now. We're all told to stay out of our house. We can't have our friends over. What if you could not have your friends over? Your TV got taken away. Excuse me. Your food got taken away. And you puzzles, any activities, etc. got taken away. You're gonna lose your mind after so long, and your perception of the world is gonna change. Just like if you're in prison and you are in solitary confinement for a long period of time, you're gonna lose that touch with communication with your family. Almost like it's non-existent. You forget, and it can do a lot of damage to families just already being in prison. But once you're in isolation, that can even, it also hurts the family outside, because most of the time people care about the people that are inside and want to have communication and want to talk to them, see how they're doing. But when you're in isolation, you can't. So you lose that reality, that you kind of lose that focus of an outside world. You almost have to force yourself to, in a way, to kind of numb that and just be in there and deal with what you got going on in there. The side effects are so extreme. It can make a person have extreme anxiety, extreme depression. The suicide rate in solitary confinement is 50% more. It's because the damage that it does to a person. The lights never shut off. They keep the lights on in solitary confinement 24 hours a day. And you're in this little 8 by 10, 12 box, and with nothing to do all day long. Now, if you call this rehabilitation, then I don't know what you think of rehabilitation is, because this is most of the time only making people worse when they get out of that solitary confinement. Now think of this: when a person gets out of solitary confinement and goes back to main population, they feel free. Now think of that. you're in prison, but you feel free because you just got out of the box and you're back in main population. I know that feeling too. I got a job, and when I got out of isolation and I started working, and I was like, this is freedom. In my mind, that's how I thought. That's what I thought, but I was still in prison. Now that's the damage. That's what the 23-hour lockdown for long term is capable of. It makes you feel like you're free once you get outside of the box. It does so much damage, and I just want people to realize this. I've experienced it myself. That's why I'm talking about it. And I'm not saying that solitary confinement shouldn't be used. What I'm saying is the way they're using it is wrong, and I want to bring awareness and attention to this. And maybe, someday it will change. But it takes one person to speak about it that maybe can reach more people and like some people say, one person can't save the world, but one person can get the message out there to help make a difference. And that's all I'm trying to do. I love you all. I'll talk to you guys later. But don't forget, once again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I got more content coming out. I'm going to be dropping a whole lot of content. I'm switching it up a little bit, trying different things. So yeah, you don't want to miss anything. Hit that bell, hit that notification, hit that like, and I'll talk to you guys later.